looks like we have a good connections now without any issues. That's good. And then see if there is a... Yep, no output. I was just curious, right? That was the only reasoning behind. So you can look at the planet and see, is there any... It looks like there's landmass, but I can't see any. I only see these. Okay, what is that? So 2000 nanites for scanning all animals, that's not bad. There's an incoming storm, I want to see how bad it becomes. The animals is fleeing, that's not a good sign. Or did they merely flee because of our ship? 99 degrees. I don't know. I have learned a little bit not to disrespect things like the weather too much, because I have been chucked around, and here where there's so much water, I probably will end up in the water. And I'm not sure that would be healthy for me. A lot of animals running around. So systems like this is kind of interesting because they are very raw. There's no help to get, so if you are not careful, you might actually end up dead. If you, for instance, go to one of the planets with the sentinels and trigger them to fight you, and you take off in your ship and start having to fight them in space and can't get away, you're not going to have a fun time. Just saying. Here's one of those things. You are all on your own, ish. So I was curious what this was. anything. It's apparently nothing I can even scan. Well, I think I had enough of this planet. I didn't get any resources, but I actually think that is something I can get on one of the other planets. So I was just curious what this type of planet actually was. Of course, when now it's in a system with green sun, I would like some emerald. And it's not something which is overly needed, but you never know when you actually get your hands on it again. So the abandoned one. So Pirate is normally a warm planet, so and Cactus Place the same. It's probably warm.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Just preparing for that. So, a crashed freighter. Problem is I can never find where to land, so take a look. I should actually be able to do it. That easy, would it? No. It was not that easy. something we need to learn. Well, it's something I need to learn.
Hostile ships approaching.
So, as I said, you might run into trouble in places like this. Then if the freighters very often hold outlaws ships.
Hostile ships defeated.
So, yeah. That was the one we were going over. The abandoned planet. What do we find here? Well, it's a good question. Well, it's one of those questions you can't answer them until you.
Threat detected. Warning. Threat detected.
I'm actually not overly frightened by that.
Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received. Units received.
3 of 5 animals, okay. Look a little bit like the animals on the other planet.
Units received. Units received.
Oh, that was immoral. That way. 513. It's always a good idea just to take a scan sometimes. There is animals as well. There's actually two kinds there, I believe. Or were they related? It looks like a predator. So it might come back and want to have a bite of us. Who knows? He's still lurking around. So, I don't know what the last animal is, but I'll take a look at that in a moment. Thing is, I want to scan and earn the money as well. It's actually a lot of animals. I feel it might be a flying one, but I do not know. Depot of emerald. I like getting some. When I do get some, I rather want something with a little bit of substance than these coming out of it with 50 or something like that, and you feel you just have to take 10 deposits just to get something. As I explained earlier, on an earlier stream it was, that I believe there is some connections between the age of the world you're on. I don't know if I read that somewhere or someone told me, but in a way it makes sense if it is like that, and you sometimes get the information how old the world is, or indications how old it is. And I also know it also kind of depend on the type of the galaxy you're in and stuff like that. So the last one is a ground one, okay. But rare. So it's just keep looking. So some of the rocks here has chromatic metal as a secondary. Would that be useful? Yes and no. The thing is that you might only get one or two out of each rock. I actually took one of the rocks there. One. So that will mean you have to actually mine a lot to get something useful. I would say, in my opinion, it's if you want to do that, there's two ways of doing it. One, do a filthy mining with your ship. Or don't. Running around taking one at a time will take all day. But if you want to do it filthy, right, make sure you have scanned pretty much everything on the surface. Because when you then use your ship to mine, then at least you get all the secondaries as well. Which is very often a little bit more interested than ferrite dust, for instance. It's all about being smart sometimes. You are joking.
Units received.
There's one animal out there somewhere. But I freaking need to scan. It's there. On the other side of the mountain. Okay. This is one of the more funny ones. It's not a bad one, but the way it's placed makes it relatively challenging. The best way of getting these is actually from top down. So when you are up at them, you can work your way down. Fortunately, I came from the other side. So I'm going to get as much as I can. Might not be able to get everything, but I think that's absolutely fine. It's funny, these comes, these sort of deposits, they come sometimes like just a shell hanging on the top of the mountain, and there's absolutely hardly anything in them. And there's others which, like this one, actually goes in a little bit deep. I think I got everything here. So I think the animal was on the other side of this mountain, so actually it's there. Jesus. Where is there? Is it a mountain goat or something? come off. Jesus. Where's the hole? It's rather cold right now. Luckily, I have some.
Units received.
So a little bit of a bonus as well. Okay. Put it right down there. Don't you chase me. I'm not doing you any harm. Just remember, if you don't have any better weapons, your mining laser can actually kill animals, for instance. It can be a help in a survival situation. If anything else fails, use your mining laser. Frigate is one of those things again, which, like paraffinium, that it can be tricky actually to find it, even though it's not valuable or anything, but or I might just not be very smart. That said, there is actually a quite smart thing to do. If you look for something specific, you can actually track it through your guide. What do I mean by that? Well, you have a catalog and guide. The catalog. If you have ever found the thing before and you need it, you can pin it. So it's telling me nothing. Might be a wrong one to do it with. I'm not sure if there's limitations. However, I'm just going to take this. No, not that. Oh shit, there's a storm coming, so. Might not be the worst time to actually get away from here. We got some resources and yeah. So So there's another one which has nothing in it. I'm actually curious. There's 4 planets and a moon. So it's a red sun system. Let's go and visit that moon. Just get a little bit of cadmium is fine, and I'm actually a little bit curious to see what else is here. I mean, I'm not sure what I do wrong, but I will have to kind of investigate that part, because I have earlier landed on derelict freighters. And I am curious to actually find out what I might be doing wrong. Hello, welcome to, thank you for following. How are you doing? Ah well, back to the moon. Where did it go there? Let's find that. So, I'm in a system, I don't know how long you've been watching, but I'm in a system with no owners, no space station. So I'm actually just looking around, just thinking getting a little bit of cadmium is not a bad thing. See what the planets at the moment look like. Well, the planets here look like. Might be interesting or not. Some of them is very 3D based in these systems, and climbing mountains is not my favorite discipline. Never been. So, are you new to the game or an old rat? Code here. This I was almost saying the Rocky Horror Show. It's a very boring place I've landed. There's not much resources. A little bit annoying. So let's move a little bit and see if there is something better. It is always a possibility. Or not. The weird thing is, even though it says there is resources, it never say how much of it there is, and it's surely not always easy to find. I shouldn't shoot things I haven't scanned. That one I'm going to leave alone. rusted metal, cadmium, at least that is useful. Feel free, if you're relatively new to the game, feel free to ask questions. I'll try to answer them as good as I can. Else, if you are an experienced player, feel free to comment on some of the things I say too. I do not mind having a little bit of a chit chat, because as I very often say, I do not necessarily do things the correct way or the right way, but my approach to the game is that there is no right or wrong. There's sometimes an easy way or a difficult way, and I do know I sometimes take the little bit more difficult ways. But that doesn't mean we can't have a chit chat about it. And if anyone has suggestions to doing things in a better way, feel free. I'm very happy to, first of all, try out new ways, if that is. Damn it, if something is more efficient than the way I do it, I will not complain about that. And why did I do that? Well, that's a good question. I actually don't really need rusted metal, but I have a little bit of that attitude that when it's just laying there looking very pretty, why not just take it? It becomes too useful materials, but I have so much of it. But I am greedy sometimes, I know, and I'm hoarding. It doesn't make it better. Believe me, some of my other games I played, it's sometimes almost embarrassing. 17 years of World of Warcraft, that has filled up all my bank slots with the things I have collected over the time. And that's just the things I haven't sold in the auction house. So yeah. And this game is no better for me, because I always think, well, I might need that one day. And will I? Well, that's one of the things I have no clue if I will. But on the other hand, I mean, so if you notice that this is a planet with almost no atmosphere, that means when you fly with your jetpack, you fly off very powerful. It's not because mine is stuck up or anything. It's the planet doing it. That was the one I came from. Oh, doesn't really matter. Just getting a little bit of resources that I might or might not need. As you can see, I can hold it flying for a very long time. And I will say one word of warning. Be a little bit careful if there's mountains. Because you will very quickly end up on top of a mountain and then fly over the edge, and then it becomes uncontrollable. So again, collecting silver, I don't really need that either, but as I got a lot of gold earlier, I could actually refine some of it, gold and silver, into platinum, which is always good to have. And if you want, platinum can be refined into nanite. So there is a couple of things which actually is useful that way. So there was some cadmium somewhere close, or not, relatively close. I will say I am picking up dihydrogen as I need loads of it. Cadmium is one of the 4 cornerstones in the game, together with copper, emerald and indium. And that refined comes chromatic metal, so it's one which is needed, and the higher ends give more chromatic metal than the copper in the low end. So it's telling me again that I hardly have any. I think it's lying to me, because I can see, well, actually I can see where we are on the stream from live, and if there's problems, it starts lagging. So I'm way ahead of the live stream, and it's almost in sync at the moment, so I don't really believe it. I do not really believe it. So ship. Do I want more rusted metal? No, I don't think so. I think I have enough of that.
Technology recharge.
The funny thing is you can pick every resource up and it's useful for you one way or another. And then suddenly you end up like me, hoarding everything you get and having a lot of stacks with filled up with these low-level resources. And I had this plan that, well, it's okay because ferrite dust can refine to pure ferrite, and it can then refine to magnetized ferrite, which is cool because it becomes much more valuable. Yeah, the problem is a stack of 9,999 takes forever to refine. So, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm happy with that. So the planet next to the moon was, if I remember right, relatively infested with sentinels. It didn't hold anything I needed. Irradiated planet, so that means it's radioactive. That one looks kind of interesting. Let's take a look at that. Cactus flesh kitten. So it's terrosphere. What on earth does that mean? It's one of these names. I sometimes just have to look at them because I have no clue what it actually covers. I know pirate is normally found in hot environments, the same with cactus flesh. So that's the only little bit of indicator what it is. So yeah, I'm a little bit curious here. Terrosphere. Does that indicate that it's filled with life which wanna kill you and eat you? I don't know. It's not something I remember I have encountered. Well, I would say that doesn't mean I haven't, because I don't always pay full attention to what it says about the planet. I am a little bit of a noob in that direction, because sometimes I see something as, oh, shiny, I need that, and go for it. here there are life, dangerous life, yeah. There's a deposit of cadmium, so should be relatively safe here. Famous last words. Very famous last words. It's cold. So it's probably because it's shift between cold night, warm day. Just a thought. So what is going on? Apart from the terror. There's quite a number of life forms. Can I get a tick on that? Yeah. These are quite interesting in a weird way. So, yeah. By the way, feel free to ask questions if there is any. That is absolutely fine. Or comment in any other way. The chat is there to be used. And I do try my best to respond to it as quick as I can. I will not promise I don't laugh if you say something funny. Even though most of the time I'm laughing at myself because I do something incredible stupid. Firestorm, yeah, why not? So temperature is raising. How hot is the firestorm going to be? If the cadmium is starting melting, then I know something is wrong. I should actually know better because Sunday I took a flight in the storm, meaning I was flying without actually flying. So sometimes I should know when to just go back to the ship. But I'm greedy. Greedy people die a horrible death, don't they? So 100 degrees is boiling point. That's not overly bad, but still, it's bad enough because when you don't know how powerful the storm is and things actually choke you around, and it's a little bit scary when you're in that situation. The unknown is scary. But I must say, these systems without any racial or alien racial dominance and no space stations, it kind of gives me a little bit of a thrill because, you know, if you're in trouble, you need to sort it yourself because there is no way of actually get away. Well, there is ways, but so if you piss off the Sentinels, you need to know what you're doing. If you don't, there'll be a grave on one of the planets. And you might even take the up in space and the ships start playing around with you. That's not going to be fun either because if you don't have an emergency warp, what are you going to do? Where are you going to hide? Just saying. It's not straightforward, but it never is. So I saw there was cactus flesh somewhere. More bites. There. So it's one of these that I don't really need it, but I know that it's useful for a lot of manufacturing. So if I want to do that, I need a lot of them because they go very high numbers, and so it is kind of about collecting so you have enough to, and my intention is to actually show on stream how to manufacture the very expensive stuff. I can't remember if I need cactus flesh for that, but at least some of the things is used with that. And I have to be careful because those worm places, they tend to suddenly attack me, and they have killed me. So sometimes it's about being a little bit careful. This is not what I needed, so well. It was not overly smart. So now something came up as unknown and there, or unidentified. I mean, it is still a bit of coins when you scan them. The longer into the game you get, the better the payment are, so to speak. See, I didn't get it all. Good thing is, now I can. And the question is always, is it really necessary? Nah, not really. Okay, that's the worm. And that's not the scary worm, to be honest. It's actually 4 underwater. And there's some underground. I don't think I will chase them, to be honest. Now I know what the Terror Sphere planet is. That's fine, I have learned something. That is always good. Pillars. And why am I going there? I have no idea. Again, it's curiosity. Do I want gold? Gold is not bad. It's good to have in stock, but I have plenty of gold. Well, as I said, could always refine it with silver into platinum if needed. Even though you lose coins and money on doing that, because 1 silver and 1 gold becomes 1 platinum. But the value of the gold and the silver together is more than 1 platinum. So it's one of those situations where you refine something which becomes less worth. However, platinum is relatively rare, so in order to get it, you sometimes actually have to do it. And as I said, the silver lining is that you can actually refine platinum into nanites if you are in the need of them.
Units received. Units received. Units received.
So this is one of those relatively weird planets. That's a glitching separator. One thing is, when you find these, you can pick them up. It will be sitting in my inventory. I hope. God, I have a lot of crap today. I don't really check what I have in my inventory until I get back to the freighter at the end. So I know I have all the slots in the exosuit, so I have a lot of slots to fill out. So these, you pick them up and you get like this, and you can actually use them to put in your base as a display or stuff like that. And there is actually an achievement to find, I can't remember how many it is, but to find them all or something in that direction. On this planet they will all be the same, so you'll only find one on this planet. And the next planet you come to, which is the same range of planets, might be exactly the same one. I always take one when I come, but some of them I have is actually, I got two of. Magnetized ferrite. Animal.
Units received.
If you want to catch them, you need to have well, let's go close and check, because I don't think it is the normal. You might not even be able to. Oh, creature pellet. Okay, so it is the normal. I bet you it's the only one on this planet, yeah. So let me take the bonus. It's not too bad. So you take all these as well before I forget it. Cadmium. So these planets rarely hold something very interesting, but you actually don't know. The thing is, you can't use charts or anything because there's no space station. So you wouldn't know if there is any abandoned buildings or anything. Huh. Oh. It's not always. It is straight with what is actually scanned and not scanned. So my little dog wanna come into us. Come on, girl. You can come in. Just push the door. Yeah. Yeah. She's a good girl. She can come in. That's absolutely fine. So,
Oh,
Maybe she has a comment to what we're doing. Oh, that was her comment to this planet. I think that means there's not many trees there to sniffle. Actually, the funny thing with a dog sometimes, because she actually does sit and look on the screen, and if I'm on a planet with a lot of animals, it's like she knows it's animals, and she looks like, I've never seen something like that before, and that is very often true. Neither have I.
Technology recharge.
And you say she loves animal videos on YouTube. The worst part is if there's dogs barking, then she starts talking to them. That's not always convenient. But it can be quite funny, to be honest. So, getting a little bit of cadmium again, that's it's just hard coded into me to get a little bit when I see it, and actually don't know, it's quite beautiful, this planet, in a weird way. All this golden light. Again, I don't really need carbon in any form and shape, but as I often say, crystal form means pick up some of it from time to time, because it is something which is useful for you. And I know I'm farming a lot of dihydrogen. Something was unidentified here. There.
Units received.
So, it's getting too far away. Where is the ship there? Let's go there, but it's relatively far away, so what I will do is go back to the ship and try to fly there. Just because I'm lazy, nothing else. I don't think this planet would be safe enough to walk around on, but I don't see that there is any direct hazards. But I might be wrong, and that's the thing I have done before. I have burnt my fingers. So where did I mark that? it. Yeah. So I prefer to fly around in slow pace because that gives me bigger chance to actually react to things. That's a nice deposit of gold. Not pure deposit, there's a little bit of impurity in between, but I should not complain when it's free. It's the thing is, we can always complain about things, but does it really matter? I don't think so. The only thing is I keep running out of fuel in my terminal manipulator. The good thing is, whenever I take something, I get some of this silicon powder in with it. So it's actually not bad. There's another gold. That's where we are. Should I just go there? It's relatively close. There's another one of them. Let's go and get the gold. I like gold. Gotten quite a bit of dihydrogen today, which was good because last time I kind of forgot a little bit about it, so I suddenly realized I didn't have any left. Good thing with that is it is an old planet, so you can always find it. It's just a question about actually grinding it out. Normally when I play I would just pick up a little bit here and there, but as I'm now in a situation where I really need it, then I feel I have to take a little bit more than I normally would. But luckily I'm starting getting in a situation where I have a surplus, so and if I do another forget it, then well, it's fine then. I do apologize if anyone has written in the chat and it takes too long for me to answer, but we had some latencies today, and the thing is I get the chat immediately, but when I respond to it, it comes with the video feed what my answer is, so it might be a little bit tricky sometimes, especially if we end up in that situation, but believe me, I want to respond to everyone, so just be a little bit patient and you will get a response. So, back to the ship. Why does it sound like someone is working on my ship with a hacksaw? I'm not sure I like that sound. Another thing, other crystals, sodium nitrate, again. It is
Recharge.
not needed, but it's actually a good thing to take when you come across it. Sodium in all its shapes are very important for survival, and it can help you quite a bit surviving. Up there is carbon. Let's take that as well. Not because I need it, but because I can. That's actually a shitty argument, but never mind. It's not always you should do things just because you can, because that's that might be morally and legally wrong. So I think we have done this system now, but let's just check the planets quickly as we come across them. So, sorry if any animal sounds, but my animals have decided it's playtime. Well, the dog has decided it's playtime, the cat doesn't agree, so yeah. Okay, let's find our way to a more normal system. So we can pick up some new why. Why is data unavailable? fighting time.
Hostile ships approaching.
If I can get my reward today. Several times ended up where I actually hit the freighter and then Sentinel destroyers came and played along.
Technology recharge.
No, I don't want to escape. I do like the rewards you get from helping the traders. To be honest. Because you always get a storage thingy for your own trader, so that's actually very practical. That's why I get so flustered when I don't get the rewards.
Hostile ships defeated.
Okay. So. So, where is it? Must be the one we fought around. Where is the sign? The sign is always a good pointer where the... Okay. Am I being blind here? Backing off a little bit. Must be this one. If I remember right, it's up here. Is this the right one? Well, we're about to find out. We are about to find out. That's an A fighter, okay. The fighter is a C fighter, so freighter, so we are not tempted to buy or anything. So this is the wrong ship. Okay, I'm leaving again. Goodbye. So yes, you can land on any freighter, and you can actually buy their ships if you want. So where is that ship? This is down there. But isn't that the one I just left? Am I confused? I think I am. Isn't that the one I just went to? Maybe not. They are very close together here, so the thing is I don't see any ship marker. That is confusing me, to be honest. Do I have to visit them all to find out which one it is? It's going to be a long day. Well, let's go and see if this captain just wanna sell his ship or what. Might be the wrong one. Yeah, it's the wrong one. He is not the one which invited me on board. Well, hello, Bamba. I have been online, but I'm back to running my normal schedule. So that means Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Sunday. I had some extra slots while Sarah was streaming Hogwarts Legacy, so I took the chance and played some evenings out of the normal. So how are you? I'm trying to find the freighter here which I saved, but I do not get the marker. Yeah? No, it really helps out when you are in crunch situations, because I have experienced myself getting into a planetary fight with 3, 4, 5 ships, and if it starts becoming a struggle, then it's not very funny. Yeah, well, I know where to get in. I learned that, but I'm not sure I'm on the right one here. The thing is, every time you save one and get the reward, you get a free storage slot for your own freighter. So actually, no, this is the wrong one. I've been up talking to this guy 3 times. Yeah. So now I know his name, so I know it's the wrong one. Oh, that's good. It's good when it feels funny. I mean, as fun when you play, because the struggle with okay, I'm giving up on this right now. I know sometimes if I go to the space station and come back out, yeah, it's myself today, so so this is actually one of those, which is a little bit funny. No, the funny thing with freighters is that I was thinking exactly like you, and I said, oh, why do I need that? And I had that several times through the game where I thought, that's not something for me. Well, it's because it's an abandoned space station. They are apparently very rare to find. I tend to find them all the time. But it's empty. There is no one here. And you can see the color scheme is more like the outlaw ones. But they would have taken it apart and built a hive here in the end. So there isn't much here, but there is some funny things. Because even though... Don't fight in here. Go down in the living room. There is still things to be found around here. There's nanite. Arya and Sirius. No, can you stop? Hey, go out. If you want to fight, go out somewhere with space, not in here in front of my computer. No, but the funny thing is, I follow No Man's Sky on Reddit, and I sometimes read what people write. And there was a long discussion about abandoned space stations, and I was thinking, yeah, I have found one in the past or two, but nothing really. But after I started to stream, I get them all the time. And I think it is a little bit because I very often go after systems which looks a little bit interesting. If there's something which is not straightforward. So as this one has said there was something. Yeah. The problem is, we have an old cat and we have a young dog, and the dog likes to play and the cat will not admit he likes to play, so he pretends he doesn't want to play, but he's very often the one starting all the fun. And he found out we were telling her off if she was too rough, and then we found out it was actually not her but him. And he can sit somewhere far away from her and sound like she's half eating him. So it sounds much worse than it is. But the funny thing is, he didn't really remember how it was to be a cat. After we got the dog, he actually turned into be a real cat again. And that's very nice to see. So I found out in these there's rocks on space stations, and you can scan them and it actually gives coins like everywhere else you scan. So if I don't get anything else out of these hydroponic bays, I don't farm the carbon, I will admit that, then I always get a little bit of coins for the rocks. Sometimes more than others. But an abandoned station still giving me a little bit of coins. Oh yeah. And even worse, my dog is a border collie, so she has personality as well, quite a lot. And she's actually picked up a lot of the cat's mannerisms, and she's using her paws like she's a cat. Collies do that already, but she's taking it to a whole new level. Hey guys, don't be so noisy. So, more nanites. And even a standing with the Viking. And there's a trade station. There's actually cheap wiring looms.
Product received.
Some of the things I have actually are in plus here. That is, oh, I forgot to unpack them. Okay, I'll do that in a moment. Only problem sometimes, because there's rubble, you get stuck on it. But the interesting thing is, we are here at the side where the mission guy. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. But this is the side where the mission guy and the guild guy and the charge guy is. There is actually a room behind you can get in on the abandoned stations. This one is not the most interesting one. It's another hydroponic bay, but it's sometimes you find things with boxes and stuff like that, and there might be a little bit of interesting things to find. But it's so funny with the thing is, I'm sitting streaming while the rest of the family has gone to bed, so they when they go to bed, the animals comes normally to me, and most of the time they just lay around watching me and kind of keeping me company, but sometimes they take the big play turn. Yeah, I got a habit buying wiring looms when they are down in 50 something, because I know that's cheap. So, that was an abandoned station. We're not meeting any people here, other than yourself, and if you were flying around with a friend. So that's actually interesting. I thought it was an outlaw system, but I was a little bit wrong there. Yeah, that I do understand. That I do understand. They, I was at the 3 systems in a row where the price for wiring looms was over 100,000 a piece, and I was so glad I didn't have that need that I had to buy them, because if you're sitting in a situation where you have to buy them, then yeah. But as I said last time, I do snatch them up, and oh, wait a minute. I want to see if I get a marker on any of the freighters. No, still not, and it points me to the same one, which is wrong. I think I lost that reward. Yeah, that was my thought as well. Worst part was it was 3 systems in a row, and I was thinking, I'm darn glad I don't have to buy at that price. And if you have a well-stocked spaceship, then you need quite a lot of them when you go to the core, for instance. So I bet you this is a very hot planet. Colossal firestorms, that doesn't look interesting.
Technology recharge.
Now, it's one thing I learned, that is to stock up. It's not because money is a problem for me. I'm not even trying to make money. I just do it as I go. A repository. I did not expect to see that here. To grab some of these. There's a lot of them in one place. That's one thing. If you are running frigate missions on your freighter, which I would recommend you do, because what they bring back is worth the investment. However, you need fuel for them, and that takes dihydrogen and tritium to get it. Yeah. I do normally, if I come across any, I normally put the glyph address for where I am. And you know, even though that I find it in this system now, then they will keep coming back to that place, whether it's a trading station on a planet or a space station. And if you have the time and want to get a very specific ship and you see it, you can go to that space station and sit and camp out, and it will appear at some point. It's just the timer is different from place to place. Some places can take an hour or more, but other places they come every 20 minutes or something like that, 15 minutes even. Yeah, well, but a lot of us actually. No, and that's the thing, but a lot of us don't mind cutting those kind of things out and put in a video, and I have a couple on my YouTube channel, and there will be more. I actually have 2 I need to cut out, but I had some problems uploading at the moment. My internet is very dodgy because of OpenReach. they are doing something in our area, and I see their cars driving around all the time, and that makes me nervous. That's I used to have Virgin Internet, which was absolutely great, and if there was problems, there would be someone looking at the box and everything almost within a day or two, but they were very responsive. Yeah, the problem is here we don't have fiber publicly, so we are running on copper, so that's not the greatest of speeds already. So they have pulled out the fiber, but the most stupid thing is, on the other side of the road where I live, they have fiber optic 1 gigabit. And I called them and said, can I get that? No, you're on the wrong side of the road. I said to him, can't you freaking pull a cable across? I remember the first time I got Virgin, they pulled a cable half a mile. Yeah, I think they are here where I live, that they have had a very big project. They have pulled along one of the main roads here. They dug up and were putting down from town center. I live a little bit outside the town center, and that they have done that, and they have been around putting into some boxes around the area as well. So I think it's not far away, but you never know with them. And I'm sorry, I'm sitting camping out the temperature. It's a repository. It's not safe outside here. Yeah, that's not far away. My son used to work in Maidenhead, so that's between Reading and Slough. Yeah, but I mean, you could probably survive. It tells you can survive between 1 and 3 minutes in it, and you can keep topping up your protection. But I don't really want to spend all my resources doing that. Yeah, we actually live in Reading, so that's not too far. So every time we go to Heathrow, we drive past. I will wave next time I drive past. But yeah, you can use all your resources on storms, but I mean, yeah, I don't come that way a lot, because going towards London is not really my favorite exercise. At least not in car. If I'm going to London, I normally take the train. Yeah, I don't have anything. Don't make noises. Normally there would sit a guy here selling stuff, but I guess this is abandoned like the space station. I actually never seen that before, but it makes sense. But I can get a chart to an ancient dig site or something like that. So we'll get something out of the visit here. And here normally one of the guild's members are sitting. None. There is a trade terminal. I'm not sure it got anything. Well, if you're a tradesperson, dirt sells for around 1,000 when it's level, so could earn a little bit of money there. I still forgot them, okay. Yeah, but it is connected, and that's the thing. Each system is kind of linked together in all aspects. So each planet which has something like this, or might even be an abandoned trade station. I've seen that at one occasion. So it might actually have that. Unpack these. They go down in the maybe safe department, I'm not sure. Those suspicious packages, they might actually attract authorities. So this is pure law. And I'm kind of interested in it, but not everyone is. It happens in the pirate update that it suddenly became much more tricky to smuggle around. Okay, there's a lot of interesting stuff, but at this point it's not really useful. So yeah, normally there would be people around here, and God is wrong. But I find it a little bit funny, these abandoned places, and that it's a little bit, because I think it's almost, oh shit, what am I doing? Almost realistic that way. It makes it. I would guess that there would be places where things would be like that in space. Not everything survives, if you ask me. So, what do we get out of this map? Ancient ruined site. Unfortunately, a problem with storms, it makes it a little bit hard to see sometimes.
Extreme temperature detected.
Am I far enough out? I was. Yeah, and the worst part was for me that I attracted the authorities on one of them, and then they also wanted other stuff off me, which was worth a lot of money. So I said, no, I'll fight them, and that got me really into trouble. So, what? I don't see. Ah. Damn.
Storm clearing.
I thought I was going to get another.
Extreme temperature
Okay,
detected.
I better top up.
Technology recharge.
So at least I'm going to get a little bit of a present. Yeah, well, I think anyway with the suspicious packages, if you unpack them, then you're fine. If that's wrong, then I'm very sorry if you get into trouble. Kind of. But it does seem like it's actually fine when it's unpacked. There's another thing which actually amazed me with this game is this underground here is kind of ash, stone, rubble, and it actually seems like it when you try to dig through it. I like that kind of feel of it. I'm not a big lover of walking around in a superheated world, but this is a thing which I do like to take a little bit of when I have the opportunity. Thing is, if you use indium to get chromatic metal, you get 4 for each. I believe it is. I think I can check that. Just make sure I'm not telling porgies. So yeah, one indium makes 4 chromatic metal. So the better it is what you kind of take, the better it becomes. The more you get out of it. So if you need a lot of chromatic metal, it could pay off going to a blue sun system like this one, with or without the space station. Anyway, they expect we will get an update in the next few days, and the code word is snowflake. Whatever that means. I have no idea. Yeah, I found out because at one point I had some very, very hefty repairs with where I needed chromatic metal. And I actually found out that the time I spent to actually get to the blue systems was nothing compared to sit and wait for copper to turn into chromatic. So that's why I went that way. And it's never 1 or 200 you need. No, it's 5,000, 2,000 when you come up to a lot of high-end upgrades on your ships, for instance, which needs repairs. So okay, I thought that was a deposit. I should always scan them before I kill them. It really drains my shielding quickly here. Oh dear. It is confusing, but so we know there's been some sort of life on this planet at some point, and now there's not. Interesting. Yeah, it was announced a couple of days ago. It's the Stephen Murray thing. He Twitter something with an emoji, and the emoji was a snowflake. And normally it has some relevance to what is in it, but there's another sign as well, because it is going to be released for macOS and some PSVR. So that's that always normally go hand in hand. So people expect it to be probably up around the weekend. So
Units received.
whether that is accurate date, I don't know, but at least it's, as always, interesting to see what now, and I will of course read through release notes and stuff like that and see what changes.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
So the thing is about metals and stuff like that, I've kind of gotten to the point where I thought, well, it's sometimes better to work smart than work hard. So try to get the easiest way of doing things. Yeah, no worries. I will say exactly what I think about it. I'm not one which keep quiet at all. I'm seeing something very weird here, because this is a minor settlement. There's normally someone inside selling stuff. However, there's whispering eggs outside, which indicate it's an abandoned building. This is a little bit interesting. So let's go in and see what's inside it. Oh dear. It is abandoned as well. This is brilliant. Even the multi-tool looks rusty. Oh, brilliant. This is actually brilliant. Oh. Same stuff as the other places. No boxes or anything. This is down where the guy normally sit and sell, but there's boxes here. Check the loft. There might be things hanging down which want to hit me. There's a forsaken terminal. Is this like the others, just going to say hello world? Ah. Well, at least it gives me some nanites. $121. And there is a bug or glitch or whatever you want to call it. If you go in again, repeat, you get another batch of nanites, and I don't know how many times you can do it. I can't be bothered standing forever, but in the start game, for instance, that might be handy to actually try out, so you can get some.
Units received.
Okay. That was kind of interesting to see a minor settlement being abandoned. I think that's the first time I have encountered that. So it's very hot out here.
Weather update. Storm clearing.
That is that's actually something I find is a little bit funny, because finding planets like this is not normal. So that's actually something I like to encounter. Yeah, but I share all knowledge I have with everyone. I mean, it is a single player game, so whatever you do is for your benefit. And it would not harm anyone that you get free nanites or coins or whatever it is. So, I am unfortunately at that time in the day that I feel I will have to go to the space station and then teleport back to my freighter and clean up for today. But while I transport myself around, I'll be back Thursday again, and I start a little bit before 8. My official start time is 8, but what is going on here? Why am I? Did I run out of fuel? I will be on Thursday again, and
Technology recharge.
from just before 8. Yeah, but I continue to around 1, some days even longer. If I'm relatively fresh and it's interesting what's happening, then I'm not hanging in times, but I would say tonight it's I'm reaching my end limit, I think. But that's the good part of an abandoned. Yeah. But otherwise, put on notifications on it, then you get an email when I go online. But of course, if you have following a lot, then you might drown in them. But my schedule is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday, so those 4 days I will always be on. I have come on a couple of times where my daughter didn't stream because she was streaming during the day, but now she's back to normal, then I have to be back to normal as well. We unfortunately don't have an internet connection which can take 2 streams at the same time, or the space to do it. That would sound very funny. So I'm back on my messy freighter, and from here it's just cleaning up and making sure that things are put the right places. And it's mainly from my exosuit. These should actually be on the Starship there for sale. I do like to have a kind of cleaned up environment, because otherwise I cannot find my way. So, I found a lot of gold today. Yeah, I appreciate that, and you are always welcome to pop in, shout at me, ask questions, whatever you feel like, comment. I'm quite happy with that as well. Someone asked me one day if he could comment on what I was doing, and I said, yeah, feel free. I do not mind learning something as well. And I would say his comments was good, but I knew that sometimes you can do things different ways, and I know I'm not always doing it the kosher way, if you can say it like that, because there is I always say there's the easy way and there's the hard way, and then sometimes there's a couple of ways in between as well. And it's always a little bit like when you learn to ride a bicycle, you learn it a specific way, and that sticks with you until the end of days. You don't change. And I have it the same way sometimes with computer games. Not that I don't want to learn new ways, because I actually do, but it's this way with well, I've been doing this and it works, but when someone tells me that, oh, if you do it this way it's much easier, and I do, actually think about the suggestions, and I sometimes try them out, and sometimes I will nod my head and say, well done, that was much better than the way I thought it was. I'm not that stubborn, and I'm not that arrogant and think that my way is the only way, because I know it's not. So I got a new glitch. That should not be there, it should be on the starship, because it's for sale. So, cleaned up. Now I only have the refining left. And as I said several times, don't diss these kind of things, because they become nanites in the end. The rusted metal becomes yeah, I do not know how it works on the Xbox, but I use Q&E when I'm sitting. But yeah, you get used to doing those kind of things, because it is easier to use the keyboard sometimes to get around. I have one hand which is not doing anything, so it might be activated. So I normally don't do the refining while I'm online, because that is a little bit boring for most people. But I actually got someone who asked me to show how this could become nanites, and unfortunately it takes quite a while to do so. So I was thinking actually making a video and showing it, because that I can speed the time up a little bit. But the whole thing is, you need to make the runaway mode, and that I have some more. I don't know how much I have. I have 89. So, well, 100. That's a nice. 5 of the runaway mode become 1 nanite. So 100, that will give you 20 nanites, and it's 3 nanites. So I don't mind running them. I set them to refine while I prepare the videos and upload them to YouTube anyway. So I'm just putting that in the background, and then I might even take the dog out for a walk while I do it, because it does take time. No! Honestly, you are throwing away goodies. The goop. The only thing which annoys me is that the freighter is not up here. That would make things so much easier for me. The goop becomes viscous fluid. The viscous fluid becomes the slime. The slime becomes the runaway mode. The runaway mode becomes nanite. Never chuck that away, because it is 3 nanites. It just takes some time to refine it, but that's fine. But think about it. I always keep the rusted metal because it becomes ferrite dust. Do I need that for anything? Well, when you build bases, you actually need a load of it, so yeah, you do need it. However, it's also a good way of making money because rusted metal gives you 20 units each. However, each rusted metal becomes 2 ferrite dust, which is worth 28 units. So that gives you more units if you make it into ferrite dust. But if you make that to pure ferrite, it's suddenly worth double of what ferrite dust is. So then it suddenly becomes much more worth. And if you make it to magnetized ferrite, which is worth 82, but you use 2, so it's 56 to 82. It's 26 more a piece. I don't find that too bad, and to be honest, I have this slot. This is my might sell soon storage, right? And all this I have made from scrap metal, from rusted metal. And my plan was to run them through and make them to magnetize all of them, so I could earn more money. However, running that much is taking a long time. So I actually need to put it on during the day when I'm doing something else, because otherwise I will be mad. It takes 8 minutes for a stack. That's not too shabby, but 3 times 8 minutes is 24 minutes for a stack. So it is a good way of making more money, but it takes some time. So you have to calculate that. But I hope it's been useful, and otherwise always feel free to ask. And I will say I did exactly the same as you. I chopped it, sold it in the beginning until I realized, oh wait a minute, I was sitting playing around with the refiner because I was thinking, why do I have 3 slots? What can I do? And then I started working around, and some of it said, oh wait a minute, that becomes something else. And then I took the whole line through and saw where I actually got to it. You're very welcome, and I'm happy to help out where I can. So I will say have a good night, and see you all on Thursday. I will be back at I start up 10 minutes before roughly, but otherwise from 8 o'clock it's normally when I say it's a little bit interesting. And that's GMT UK time. So nighty night, and may you have peace out there, and till next time, bye for now.